Have you been told that the world is ending? I know, it's a weird question, right? But I'm guessing you've seen reports like this. The reality is that headlines like these are becoming increasingly common, especially within the past decade, and we wanted to focus on what each one of us can do about it. And that's exactly what the focus of this video is about. Not about what big corporations or politicians can do, but what you and each one of us can do to help improve the environment.
But this brings up a bigger question. Why us? Seriously, why focus on each of our actions? After all, you've probably heard about everyone, from oil companies to ineffective lawmakers, being responsible for the state of our environment. But it turns out, each of us individually can make a difference when we do our part. Wait a minute, you say. I'm just one person. How can I possibly affect something as big as the environment? Well, it turns out there's plenty that can make a difference.
Maybe the most obvious way that we can accomplish this is by changing our consumption habits. For example, ditch plastic cups in favor of a thermos, or use reusable bags instead of highly dangerous plastic ones, meaning less harm to ocean ecosystems that exacerbates the impacts of climate change. But more broadly, remember that these changes go beyond just reuse and recycle. They can also involve using public transport to reduce carbon emissions, or pursuing more eco-friendly technology from your house. And keep in mind, this is more than a pre-made set of instructions. There is no step-by-step manual for how to deal with climate change. Instead, each of us can make a difference by adopting a way of thinking and living that accounts for the environment and the difference that each of us can make in it.
But wait a minute, you say. What about the economics? What about all the costs affiliated with living green? Well, it turns out that environmental sustainability is an investment that pays for itself in the long run. But you're still not convinced. Maybe you feel strongly that going green is the wrong path for the country. And those are your personal views, which you are completely entitled to have. But just remember, each of us is directly impacted by climate change. And no matter whether you believe politics should or should not be involved, the effects of climate change have clearly been damning, which makes it all the more important that the improvement of your eco-footprint is entirely apolitical. It's simply your contribution to making our global community better, a task that can only come to fruition if we're all in it together.
But that brings up another question. Why? What's the point of doing all this now? Hasn't this crisis been going on for a while? Like, since the ozone layer had a hole in it back in the 90s? Well, the reality is that while we have known about the harms of climate change for some time, we are running out of time to stop it. Maybe you think that climate change looks like this. Or this. Or this. And there's any number of ways you can feel about this. But here's a cold truth, no irony intended. Feelings aren't going to change much. So, feel as you will, but just remember to do what you can to make a difference. Hi guys, I'm Cole.
I'm Atali.
I'm Gracie.
I'm Ruben.
I'm Hannah.
We're college students at the George Washington University, and we really hope that you've enjoyed learning about the way that you can help improve our climate.
Today, the issue of climate change has become more worrisome than ever, even if the politics can become murky sometimes.
But that's where each of us can make a difference through small actions every day.
Thanks so much for watching. Please be sure to like or comment below and share this video with your friends or family.